Have you ever looked at your life and felt like you're stuck in a loop? Like every day is just a carbon copy of the last? You wake up, you go to work, you grind, you try to be productive. But for what? So you can barely stay ahead? Some people feel stuck because they're working low-paying jobs with no way out. Others feel stuck even after they've made it. They got the degree, landed the good job, but deep down, they feel empty. And then there are those who just feel lost, like they're floating through life with no real direction. But here's the thing. It's not your fault. The world tells you that hard work is the answer. The world tells you that discipline fixes everything. The world tells you that if you're struggling, you're just not trying hard enough. But that's a lie. I believed it too, until I woke up one day and realized I was living someone else's definition of success. At first, I wasn't struggling. I had a solid engineering career, a good salary, a stable future. Everything looked great on paper, but something felt wrong. It's like buying the newest phone and then realizing you need to sell a kidney just to afford all the missing accessories. That's how my life felt. Not bad, not great, just empty. And that's a dangerous place to be because when life is fine, you don't stop to ask, is this really what I want? But then one day I did ask myself that question and I thought, maybe I should try something different. So what did I do? I started a YouTube channel. I was pumped. I thought this is it, my way out, my big move. And then I completely failed. No views, no traction, nothing. It was like throwing a party and realizing no one showed up. And the worst part, I had no idea why. I remember refreshing my analytics like a stock trader, hoping for a miraculous spike. Nothing. At one point, I even convinced myself that maybe the YouTube algorithm was broken. Denial at its finest. And then came the self-doubt. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe success just isn't for me. Maybe I should just stick to engineering and stop dreaming. But something inside me said, try again. So I did. I started a new channel, and this time, I learned from my mistakes. And finally, I started seeing some success. Not much, but enough to make me think I was onto something. But then, something weird happened. Even though I was finally growing, I still didn't feel right. I had done everything differently. I fixed my content, optimized my strategy, built better videos, and even made my first YouTube money. But something was still off. And that's when I had a realization that hit me like a truck. I was still chasing the wrong thing. At first, I thought success was about money, but when the money started coming in, I still felt empty. That's when I sat down and asked myself the real question, what am I actually good at? And you know what I realized? I've always been the person people come to when they need something simplified, whether it's a complex idea, a tough decision, or just making sense of life. I didn't just like explaining things. I was obsessed with making things simple. That's when it finally clicked. I stopped forcing things and started aligning my work with my natural strengths. And that's how simplified genius was born, not from hustling harder, not from forcing myself into a role I hated, but from playing to my strengths. Now let's talk about the biggest scam in self-improvement. If you work hard enough, you'll succeed sounds good, right? But here's the truth. Hard work only works if you're on the right path. Discipline only matters if you're doing something that aligns with you. Grinding at the wrong thing will only leave you exhausted. People don't burn out because they're lazy. They burn out because they're forcing themselves into something that doesn't fit. That's why some people work half as much as you and get 10 times the results. Because they're not just working harder, they're working smarter. They've figured out how to make success feel effortless. Here's the thing, every single person has a hidden advantage, something they're naturally good at. For me, that was simplification. For you, it could be anything. Maybe you're naturally good at organizing chaos, systems genius, efficiency master, problem-solving pro. Maybe you have a mind for numbers and logic, perfect for analytics, trading, finance. Maybe you're a natural talker, sales, marketing, leadership. You'll dominate. Maybe you're crazy competitive. You'll thrive in performance-driven fields. And get this, even your weaknesses can be your superpower in the right context. Overthinker, you'd be a killer strategist. Introverted, you'd crush in deep focus work like coding or writing. Impulsive, you'd thrive in fast-paced, high-stakes environments. The problem isn't that you're lazy. The problem is that you're trying to force yourself into a path that's not yours. So how do you actually start winning without grinding yourself into the ground? Pay attention to what feels effortless. Think about the tasks you do where time just flies. Maybe it's designing, organizing, talking to people, or solving puzzles. If something feels effortless, that's a clue. Notice what people always ask you for, your friends, family, or even coworkers. What do they always come to you for? Is it advice? Problem solving? Creativity? These moments show you where your hidden strengths are. Look at where you've succeeded before. Think about every time you succeeded at something. Was there a pattern? Was it because you were naturally good at it? Or did you enjoy the process? Once you find your natural advantage, you can build skill around it and use discipline to amplify it. And that's when life gets easier, because when you're working in alignment with your strengths, you don't need to force discipline. It just happens. At the end of the day, success isn't about grinding 24/7, forcing yourself into something you hate, or trying to be like everyone else. Success is about figuring out what comes naturally to you and tripling down on it. Because here's the truth, the world doesn't reward effort. It rewards results. So instead of trying to be the hardest worker in the room, be the smartest player in the game. And remember what Bruce Lee said, absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is uniquely your own. Now go win. Your next move is the only one that matters.